Hello everyone, good evening.
Hell,
I Yeah, we'll wait for 2 to 3 minutes and then we'll quickly start the session. Okay. Okay. We'll start the session. So meanwhile they'll join. So good evening everyone. So guys, my voice is audible, right? Can anyone respond?
yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Thank you. So welcome to Isha Training. Myself, Amulya. I'm having like around 10 years of exposure towards performance testing. So far, like I trained with LR load and Jmeter and also NeoLoad. So and also is my screen up, guys?
Yeah, we
Can
can see your
anyone
screen. Yeah, we can see your screen.
respond? Okay, fine. Yeah. So here in our sessions, we are going to deal with performance testing using NeoLoad tool. Okay. Before directly entering into NeoLoad tool, like we are having few more sessions where we are going to discuss with what is exactly performance testing. Okay, and also what is performance testing life cycle, and then what are different types of performance testing we are having, and then like after discussing the basic concepts behind the performance testing, then we will be moving to neolith. Okay, I'm not sure like how many of you people were aware of performance testing ever before. Okay, but being a trainer, I just need to start everything from the scratch. Okay, so in the very beginning, like as we are into performance, we should be aware of the basic concepts related to performance testing. Okay. When we talk about performance testing, okay. Let me ask you a question. So can anyone like tell me what do you mean by performance testing? Exactly. What do you mean in your words? Just no need to be very particular with the definition. Just go with a casual word. What do you mean it? When we heard about something called performance testing, exactly what do you mean?
We are going to check the application behavior specific load. I mean, see, for the specific user, like how the application is behaving, specific action or transaction. So this is
Exactly.
what we're going to do.
Exactly. Thank you, Nak. Okay. So I'm going to write it over here. Okay. So you can simply define it as testing the application behavior when we are hitting with peak load. So when we talk about the term called load, load is nothing but a virtual user. It means either the candidate with the name Isha or it's with Srinivasam or Prahlad, Vignesh, whatever it might be. Okay, suppose if we want to check exactly how much time it is taking in order to log in as it is a application. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10. We are like around 10 people in the call now. Okay, so without performance, how it is going to be like? I'll just ask you to type www.irctc.com. It means like I need to arrange 10 systems in front of you and I need to spell each and everything, saying like this is your username, this is your password. And when I exactly want to check how my IRCTC server is responding when we are hitting with 10 user count. Okay, if you want to check what is the response time of the login functionality, like exactly how much time it is taking when you are trying to log in your IRCTC account. So we need 10 systems or devices, whatever it might be, and also we need 10 credentials, and we need someone who is going to tell to do this and that. And I'll just count like, hi guys, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, and you should hit the login button when I say 3. Then you will be like before that you'll be all typing your username test01 test02 followed by test10 and 1234 as your password. Okay, when I'm going to say login, hit 1, 2, 3, you're all going to hit that login button. Okay, so if we are not using any performance criteria in this situation, we can expect multiple lags, correct? So either I am going to hit after like counting 3, or Prahlad is gonna to hit the login before saying 1, 2, 3 itself, or Vignesh is gonna to do after 10 or 5 seconds. It completely depends. There are n number of human error occurs if you are not doing anything in a particular strategic way. Okay, so that's the reason why performance testing is pretty much needed. So we can also able to do the same thing in terms of manual without using any tool. But there are n number of errors occur which is completely gonna to be hit the production hard. Okay. So even if you want to check, suppose let's take Prahalad is our client and he wants to check the any one application login response time. Okay, when we talk about the performance behavior, application behavior, we have multiple metrics. Suppose just simply consider response time for now. Okay, so when we talk about the response time, we can define it as the time taken by the server to respond for any particular request, whatever it might be. Suppose if I am clicking on file, how much time it is taking in order to show that particular entire loading page or whatever it might be, how much time it is taking in order to respond that particular request. If I am talking about my Word document or Microsoft Word, in the same way, if I am clicking on mute here, how much time it is taking in order to reflect that from the Microsoft Teams. Okay, so when we talk about the performance testing, we have n number of client side metrics and also server side metrics. For now, just focus on response time. Okay, so that I'll come with multiple examples. Just give me a second, guys. Okay, sorry. Okay, so suppose, as said earlier, Prahlad is our client. So he is going to ask us like Amulya Antim. So as you guys are working into performance team, I'm expecting the login time should be 3 seconds. And we are going ahead with 100 user count. Okay. So our criteria is, as he is saying, the count is 100. So when he says something called count is nothing but user or virtual users, or it also be termed it as load in testing. Okay, so when he says like login time is 3 seconds, it should be 3 seconds in this sense. Response time, so SLA is 3 seconds. That is, SLA is service level agreement. Like, don't get confused about these words. So we are going to discuss each and every parameter in our coming sessions. Okay, so if he is saying the response time is 3 seconds in this sense, we should create our scenario in such a way to get the response time as 3 seconds. If you are doing that manually, definitely that is not going to met. So even if he wants to go with 100 users in this sense, if you are not using any performance tool, then we need to create 100 devices or machines, and we need to have 100 manpower, and each and everything follows. Okay, but if you are using something called performance testing, you can easily create n number of user count or n number of required amount of virtual users, and you can design your scenario in a pretty easy way. Okay, and even a person who is from completely non-IT, even if he don't have any exposure towards coding, or he's completely from non-IT background, okay, he can easily able to learn performance testing, because you can simply call it as no coding, which is like you can, like, you're going to see very little amount of coding. Okay, here we have multiple tools in in performance testing. We have load runner, and we have Jmeter, and we have NeoLoad. You can call it as load runner is from the past ages. Okay, so this is the tool, and which is maintaining the performance testing from the long ages. But here also we have some pros and cons here. Okay, and Jmeter, it is also licensed. Okay, but when you call or when you heard something related to Jmeter, it is free source. Okay, you can easily download it from your system, and you can easily record any script, and you can play it around. There is no need of any budget if you want to test any application. But as it is completely free source, even if you see any issues from the tool, you don't get much support from the sorry much support from the community. So that's the reason why we like, if we are playing around some sort of security based things, okay, security based of application, so we completely rely on something called licensed versions. Okay, this is also licensed. In the same way, we have K6 and so stuff, which is another licensed tools. Okay, and you might get one question. Anyhow, load runner is from past ages, like Jmeter is a free resource. Why only NeoLoad? Okay. So in a simple way, if someone is going to ask you like why only NeoLoad other than LR or other than Jmeter, you can simply say like, so NeoLoad is some sort of low coding, and you can simply say like it's scriptless. Okay, so it means like you no need to write any code over there unless you need a minimum basic like some sort of file operations, or if you want to do this or that. If the main purpose of doing a performance testing is to reflect the real end user behavior, how exactly a person is using, how exactly a multiple people are like accessing the application, how exactly they are feeling when they are using the application, how exactly the server is behaving when multiple and like more and more users are hitting the server at one particular point of time. Either it might be peak load, or if you want to check with any some sort of spike, or suppose let's take Amazon. Anyhow, we are having some sort of Republic sale is going on. In Republic sale, if they are going to release only one new iPhone only for an hour, okay, so if the sale is going for 1 hour, like we can expect more and more people are going to log in and grab the deal, right? So in such situation, how exactly the server is responding if more than expected people are logging into the application? Okay, if you are using the same sort of performance testing using load runner tool, it might be a bit complex. Okay, because you can simply say it's a heavy based, but it is completely lightweighted. Okay, and here you no need to do any some sort of big coding over here. You can simply call, that's the reason why we called it as scriptless. Just give me a second, guys. Sorry, 1 second. I'll write it over here. Okay, and also you can add one more point. But comparatively, like whenever we are working with any banking application, so if it is banking application, then definitely we will rely on license based only. But in such case, why only NeoLoad? Why not load runner? So you can simply say like we all know it is a light based, and you can say it as a scriptless and also low coding. There is one more thing which is gonna to be add like bit more weightage, which is costly, cost effective. Okay, comparatively, load runner is 3 times more costlier than NeoLoad. So if you want to buy license for any number of users, the same number of users, you can buy it and 1/3 cost of load runner. Okay, and when you talk about scalability as well, so I'll write it over here if needed. So approx LR means load runner. Okay, it is 3 times costlier than NeoLoad. And also when you talk about scalability, okay, so as here we are using some sort of SaaS. Okay, as we are using some sort of SaaS license, here you can easily, you can scale up or scale down, SCALE, as per your requirement without
What
heavy
is
infra.
SaaS license here?
So like when we talk about, are you aware of LR? No?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, so there we used to call it as performance center, something like that, right? So here it's some sort of cloud based,
Okay.
where you can able to run it in terms of cloud.
So we
Okay,
can run it from
so
anywhere.
yes, yes, yes. Okay, and also like for this we definitely need work email. So no matter what, even if you want to go ahead with the PC also, definitely you need work email, right? So everything works with work email ID. Okay, but here when you talk about the scalability, you can easily scale up or down without any heavy infrastructure. That's the reason why we can choose NeoLoad. Even like if any matter that comes with your client, like can you please suggest either LR, we are anyhow we are going to buy the license, can you please suggest which is more effective and based on the complexity and compatibility, and in that situations you can say like NeoLoad is one of the good tool, and also it will be like for you it will be very beneficial because you can expect the less coding over there, and also for client perspective it is cost effective. Okay, so you can add all these points that is related to that. And so I believe like you are clear about performance testing. So when someone asks you like what is performance testing, exactly what we are going to do is like we are going to check the application behavior when that particular application was completely loaded with particular peak load. Okay, how? See, the name itself says we are doing testing in order to check its performance. That's it, simple. How exactly we are checking? We are checking with some particular load. Load is nothing but virtual users. Okay, and when you talk about life cycle, performance testing life cycle. Okay, so here like see, I'll write here first. No need of TSD. Sorry. Before that, I just want to add few points. Okay, no matter what we are into, which technology or anything. Okay, first whenever you are learning something, first try to make use of these questions, try to question yourself. Okay, exactly, as we are into performance testing now. Okay, here if you want to know exactly what is this, we have few questions, exactly what, why, when, and how we are going to apply this. We all know what is performance testing. Here we are simply checking the application behavior. It is nothing but testing its performance in terms of load or whatever it might be. Okay, I'll simply copy and paste it over here. Ignore the errors and error lines. Okay, let it be. Checking app behavior with, I'll simply write like this. Okay, why we need? You might get one doubt. So, okay, we are checking the application behavior. Why can't we just move the application into production? Do we definitely need performance testing for sure? Can anyone say? Is performance testing is mandatory while releasing any application into production?
Sorry,
Okay.
can you repeat your question?
Okay. So why exactly we need performance testing? Or is that mandatory phase for each and every application before moving it into production?
Not for all applications, some of the applications only. It's mandatory before going to production.
Okay, not for all in the sense in which type of situations? Can you please elaborate that, Nag?
See, say for example, if you take any application, okay, so for that application, first we want to check, like, how's the, well, I mean, load, like a user count, how
Exactly.
much they're
Mm-hmm.
going to use.
Mm-hmm.
Depending upon their situation only, we can take the testing, performance testing. So if the number of
Okay.
users are going to increasing, the user load is going to increase maybe in the future or current also, then that time it is required to do the performance testing. In
Okay.
case, say, yeah, if it is not required, the number of users less and the hits per second also very less, then it is not required, right?
Exactly. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So I'll explain from mine exactly as per the Nag said. That is totally correct. Suppose let's take we are just playing around Swiggy application. Earlier we have only a food delivery. Now we have Instamart as well. Okay. Suppose let's take when they are about to move that into production. Production. Okay. I just need to let you know what is production and non-production. Okay. If the customer using application in the sense, if you are able to download from your Play Store, or if you are able to use that Instamart from the Swiggy application, then that is in production. If the user is unable to access, if that is still in development, or if the application is not yet into its all the phases, that is with the client. That is under trials only. Then you can say like that is not into production. You can say the application is production only when the application is totally usable by user. Okay. So if the Instamart is in trials, if they want to move that particular application, or if they want to add that particular parameter into Swiggy, definitely that should be checked with performance testing. Suppose let's take the thought like I mean, suppose let's say they simply thought like as we are releasing that into production for the very first time, so not more than 100 users are going to access it. Okay. So in such cases, if more number of users are accessing or more number of users are using that particular application in the sense, then definitely they are going to see n number of issues in the production. It might be the server down, or it might be server hanging issues. Okay. So it's, I mean, even if you are doing any payment, it might be hanged. It might be n number of issues, not with this or that. It might be adding something to the cart, or even if there is no stock also, you can able to see something in the stock. It might be n number of issues. Okay. So which is gonna to impact the complete budget. Okay. So definitely whenever, if the client is having an idea of scaling up, if he is having an idea saying that if he wants to release that particular application for more and more users, if he is completely aware, yes, my application is going to work for these many users, I'm pretty sure, then only they will go on for performance testing. Suppose let's take, there are few applications where not more than 10 to 50 users won't be there in any time. So even if you consider 24 hours of duration, even if you check that, so that can't be consumed by not more than 10 to 50 users. So in that type of applications and in that type of situations, there might not be needed, because as per their server capability, they are pretty sure like not more than 20 users or not more than 30 users are going to access that application. So when we talk about 20 to 30, suppose if a company is like, suppose an IT company is starting up with one application for their internal purpose, and they are having only around like 10 to 20 people in their organization, then definitely in that particular type of situations, then definitely there is of no use, because they were completely aware that the application is only limited to 20 users, and that is not going to hit them hard. But whenever there is an idea of completely scalable, okay, and in order to see defect free in production, in a simple word, why we need performance testing is in order to see defect free in production. So whenever a customer is using any application, in order to see no defects while he is navigating or he is accessing that particular application, definitely we need performance testing. Okay, and when? So we all know like we have n number of phases in testing. First, suppose let's take Vignesh. Vignesh is the one like he just asked us to check the IRCTC. Suppose let's take IRCTC is not into production and this is the very first time they are using IRCTC application. Okay, until now we don't have any application in order to book any train ticket or anything. Okay, so first what we will be doing, developer will be developing that. Okay, and then manual tester will be checking like each and every icon or each guys, did you miss me in the mid?
Yes.
Oh, is it fine now?
Yeah,
Even
we can. Mhm.
okay, sorry, I don't see any connection issues as well. I don't know how come. Okay, fine, sorry. Okay, so whenever we talk about any application setup, so first the developer needs to set up, he needs to design his code. Okay, once he designs, in comes the manual tester. He needs to check each and every functionality, whether like whenever he is clicking on username box, whether he is able to like type the username, if he is clicking on password button, whether he is able to type his password, whether he is trying to provide any captcha. So he will be checking each and every functionality is properly working or not. And then the automation guy will do his activities. And then there comes our perf testing. Okay, earlier this is the cycle what we used to follow, which is called waterfall method. So once the entire NFR is gathered and then once the each and everything is done, then we will be doing. Now as we are into agile methodology, so we are doing each and everything in parallel. So suppose let's take, suppose if the developer, okay, suppose let's take Prahlad is our developer for IRCTC. If you developed only up to the login functionality, okay, so Vignesh is going to check the entire functionality of that login is working or not. Then definitely like we should be doing our performance testing activities once they said like okay, they are good with that. Okay, so here we have two things. So we can say like as we are in agile, we'll do in parallel. So once the developer designed that particular functionality, once developer works done, we will pitch in. We'll start. We'll start our work. Okay. So here we have two things. So lower environment and higher environment. Suppose as said, if Vignesh is working as a developer, so he will be working with URL irctc.dev.com. It means like he is with developer environment. Okay, so lower environment is the place where the functionality will keep on changing in order to debug the issues. Suppose one of the functional tester will enter into picture and he will be doing with, again he will be checking the functionality irctc.sit.com. Okay, or if there is any change irctc, if there is any upgrade sit1.com. So they are having something with lower environments. Okay, so being a performance tester, if someone is asking us to check with lower environments, so we can say directly say no, we will be checking only with higher environments, because whatever the changes they are completely doing in lower environments, either it might be dev or set1, whatever it might be. Okay, so whatever the UI you are looking in dev, and whatever the like when we talk about the higher, I'll write it here, higher. So you can say like perf. So www.irctc.perf.com or uat.com, user acceptance testing. Okay, let it be perf for now. Okay, if someone is asking, so you can say no, because what, like if you are testing the application where the URL is completely changing, it's not with URL where the functionality in that particular URL or in that environment is completely changing, then definitely there is no use of checking for performance testing, right? So we can say like we should able to start our performance testing, we should start when application is completely stable. So being a performance tester, you can say like you can able to do performance testing, or you should start only when the application is completely stable. Okay, and here also we used to face few scenarios, okay, where the application is completely vast and there are some sort of a number of microservices you are having, and if there is no such dependencies, okay, if there is no such dependencies, yes, before like deploying the code into performance environment, you can also able to play around lower environments, and that is just to check everything is good to go or not. If that is UI and if you are completely seeing n number of changes in the lower environment, then you have right to say then you can't able to work in unstable environment. But if you're working under microservices and if there is no dependency, if they are asking us to check, hi Amulya, or like we are already done with one particular login functionality for this IRCTC account, okay, could you please check whether that is working? Could you please be ready with your scripting? Then we should be in a situation to say yes, because there might be no dependencies that is going to occur. So instead of checking the issues in the very last stage, see, when we are doing only after, see, what is the phase here? Developer needs to develop and manual tester needs to check everything, the functionality is working or not. And then the performance tester is going to trigger the things. Okay, here we should follow something called left shift. It means left shift testing in the sense we should start testing in the very beginning to get rid of issues. So instead of saying like that we are seeing issues in this login functionality in the very last date, so if you are checking in the very beginning, then you can say it right. Okay, if you are not able to enter captcha, or if you are unable to enter your test01 at irctc.com in that particular text box, instead of saying that in the very last, I mean delivery date, you can able to check that and say like you can this is what happening with that particular functionality, you can raise a bug and you can follow up with the team, which is going to reduce, if you are using left shift, it will reduce cost when we talk about multiple issues here. Okay, here we have two environments. Okay, this is for those who are not aware of these words. Okay, lower environments means where the application will keep on changing because they will be doing multiple and continuous testings over there. So whatever the code we are having in this environment, that won't be much stable because they will keep on digging the issues. Okay, that's the reason why we will be having higher environment and stable environment when we are working with performance, because the main motto is we are checking the application behavior. If you are checking any application behavior, what's the use of playing around unstable application? Anyhow it is unstable, it is not at all stable, and there is it is not giving any proper output whenever you are looking here and there, then there is no use, right? So that's the reason why we should say we can able to work, or we should work only with the complete stable environment. Okay, so we know what is performance and why we need in order to see the defect free, and exactly when we need. So we should start our performance testing once the developer completes and the manual phase completes for that particular functionality. Okay, and how? Now here comes how we are going to do that. As said before, if you want to do any performance testing, then definitely we need any tool, performance tool. Okay. So as I said earlier, if you want to do performance testing here, we are not supposed to do like even for the 10 users also, we are not supposed to provide 10 devices to 10 users. Okay. And no one is going to say do this and that. So that's the reason why we rely on tools for effective results. How we are going to do that? By using tools. So here we have multiple tools. Okay, so we have licensed versions and also free versions. So based on the client requirement and based on the application, okay, we are going to check exactly which is going to do. And suppose let's say the client is not aware, he is just asking us, okay Vivek, so could you please suggest which is best, could you please help us with POC, proof of concept. Then what we can do is like we can take the trial versions of all these, whatever we are having, and just simply go ahead and create a script, a small script for the login, and you can check the compatibility and also complexity. Okay, by checking that also we can suggest like this is what we are observing here and there. So in based on these situations, we can suggest this. Okay, so that's the reason why we need to question ourselves with what we are doing, why we need it, and when we are supposed to start that, and exactly how we are going to achieve that. That is performance. Okay, and when we talk about the life cycle, first, as usual, Vignesh is our client. Okay, and we are all team members. So and suppose Tayo is our manager and we are working under Tayo. Okay, he simply said us, could you please get into call with Vignesh and get the details and quickly start the performance testing for IRCTC account. Then, so when you start your performance testing and the day one in your project, first you need to get things from the client is non-functional requirements. Okay, if someone is simply asking you to check IRCTC in the sense, the very step is not scripting. First, you should know the details, exactly what all the things the client is looking for, what all the requirements he is having. Okay, so we need to ask him like exactly from which technology it was derived, either it's from Java or JavaScript or Python or whatever it might be, and whether the IRCTC is a new application or it is already existing application. If IRCTC is already existing, suppose let's take till last month or last quarter, it was with Infosys. Now they are switching it to TCS. So if they are switching the organization due to some budget constraints or whatever it might be, the reasons behind, so we can easily ask them if it is already existing application, can you please share the reports with us, the earlier reports or earlier data, so that we can also get some sort of clarification or some sort of information around that. So when we talk about NFR, we do have a template for that. Okay, and also we need to, it's a some sort of questionnaire document. So I can help you with this tomorrow in detail. For now, I am just going with deep things here. Okay, on brief note. So we can also question Vignesh exactly what is the user count he is looking for, whether he wants to check for 10 users or 20 or 30 or 40, and exactly on what time he is looking for execution, what is the timeline dates. Suppose if he wants to go with 50 users, like could you please help us with test data. If he is not aware, if he's only like acting as a client and if he's not having any technical knowledge, then we can question be a business analyst. Business analyst is the one who is going to communicate between the client and also us. Okay, if we are having any questions, we can directly communicate with business analyst and also the architect who is going to help us with the details. And we also need to get the application architecture, how exactly the data is flowing from top to bottom. If an user wants to like create or generate any ticket, what is the flow? Is there is any mandatory drop downs we need to pick, or exactly what all needs to think we need to cope up in IRCTC application itself? Suppose let me show you that. If someone asks to check with this application, okay, irctc.com. So if we are simply working here, so in IRCTC, right? IRCTC. So in the train booking itself, we also have e-catering. Okay, let it be RTC corporate. Is this the one? No, not this. irctc.com or next generation. Next generation. So here itself, we will be having flight ticket booking, bus booking, cab booking, each and everything. So we need to question him exactly what needs to be checked. Okay. I need to provide the details, right? Okay, let it be, not a problem. Okay. So if I'm simply, we can also ask him, so do you want to check only related to the train, or do I need to check the things related to bus booking and plane booking, I mean flight booking or cab booking or food booking and everything? So based on the time, also they are going to decide like on which functionalities, on which use cases they are planning to move the functionality into production. So they are going to have n number of questions. Okay, so we are going to discuss each and everything in detail tomorrow. Okay, so once you got the requirement, so once Vignesh provided each and everything, like he is just asking us to do, suppose let's take 5 critical flows. Okay, so what test plan is going to do is like, so we will be adding what are all the questionnaires we added, or what are all the things we discussed with the client, that is added under test plan. Okay, so we can able to start scripting only after receiving sign off from the test plan. The reason why I am saying only after receiving sign off in the sense, suppose let's take earlier he said only 4 flows. 4 flows means login, logout, ticket booking and cancelling. So Amulya, we and Tim, we just need only need to check only login, logout, ticket booking and cancelling. So as we have very minimal time, so for now we are we just want to go with only these 4 functionalities into our production. Okay, and then we started scripting, and then we also like in parallel we are doing execution. And in the mid of our timelines, again Vignesh reached us, and he's asking us, Amulya, no, we are not going with 4 flows now. Can you please check PNR inquiry as well? Again, it is going to take high time. Either it might be a small change, okay, small add-on that is going to impact our delivery timelines. So once that is signed off, in the sense, it is nothing but an agreement. Test plan is nothing but an agreement between the client and organization. If they stick to 4 flows, and if they are asking us to complete by 26th or 28th, okay, and said like everything is ready in perf environment, higher environment, you should complete that in these many days. Okay, and if they provided each and everything, they should stick to only the flows and whatever the details we provided in that particular test plan. Even if they are adding the single functionality or either it might be anything, again we need to create one more test plan. Again we need to add the test plan as test plan version 1.1. Earlier it would be 1.0. Now it is 1.1. Again it should be signed off from the client. Then only we can able to add that into our scripting, because that is considered as a legal agreement. So that's the reason why I am saying that that is pretty much needed. And then we can go for scripting. Scripting means no need to worry, you are not gonna to write anything in any language over here. So we have multiple things to do recording. Suppose let's take, I'll show you the NeoLoad itself. So once you download the NeoLoad, this is how it looks. So we will simply click on record. So once you click on record, it is taking time. Just give me a minute. See, there is something called record. So if you click on record, you can navigate to the application, okay, and you can book your ticket over there. And once you stop your recording, you can able to see your request over here, whatever it might be. So you are not doing any, you are not writing any code in any language over here. Okay, simply you are clicking on something called start recording and stop recording. Once that recording is done, we will be doing enhancements, scripting enhancements. Okay, so mainly we will be doing three things for sure: correlations, parameterizations, and text verifications. No matter what you are into which tool, either it might be Load Runner or Jmeter or Soyasta, K6 or NeoLoad, whatever it might be. These are must needed in your script. Okay, suppose you are logging into your SBI account. Okay, if Prahlad is entering, he is trying to log into SBI account. He recorded the script. Okay, if he wants to use the same script for 10 times with the same Prahlad, for sure it's not going to work, because whenever he is trying to log in for the first time, he might get OTP, right? The same OTP will not work for the second time. Okay, that is nothing but correlation. It means whatever the value that is generated from the server, that needs to be correlated. I'm simply giving the example as OTP. Okay, so we have multiple things. We will discuss that later. Okay, the reason why I'm saying OTP is like, so OTP will won't accept for the second time. Okay, anyhow, we need to validate that. And also parameterization. If Prahlad created one script for login functionality, okay, if he wants to check whether Srinivas is able to log in, Isha is able to log in, Vignesh, Jayesh, okay, if he wants to check each and every one can able to access that particular application, that means nothing but a static data that is from a test data. If our client is giving test 01, 02, 03 and test is 10, if all the test is validating and accessing the application properly or not, that should be checked with the concept called parameterization. Because whenever you are trying to book your ticket, train ticket, no one is going to use the same name Amulya, no one is going to use the same name Prahlad or Vignesh. Definitely for each and every individual, they will be having their own names and credentials, right? So that's the place where we will be using parameterization concept. In the same way, text verification. So if you are simply seeing something with green mark, it doesn't mean your script is totally passed. For sure, in each and every add one text verification, whether you are just to check whether you are landing on proper page or not. Somehow, sometimes, even if you are adding this or that, even if you are adding properly or not, it might give the proper check saying like script passed. It doesn't mean your script is passed. So that's the reason text verification is gonna to check whether whatever the data you are planning to check is there in that particular page during the runtime or not. So these three are pretty much needed in scripting enhancements. Once the scripting is done, we will be going and doing the execution. Once execution is nothing but we are simply running the script as per the client requirement. Either it might be 50 or 100 or 200, whatever might be the user count. Once the execution is done, we will be checking the report. That is called analysis. Okay, so when we talk about this, so tomorrow we are going to get the complete picture of NFR questionnaire document, and I'll show you one test plan as well, and then we will go with the next topics. And when we talk about the execution, see execution, so there are n number of tests here. So we also be aware, being a performance tester, we should be aware what is load test, what is stress, endurance, what is scalability, what is volume. Okay, so like anyhow, like we are after this, we are going to check the NeoLoad introduction, and I'm going to help you exactly how we can able to install and set up the NeoLoad in your machines. Okay, and then when we talk about the scripting, this is the place, design user paths. So I showed here, right? So this is the place where we will be creating the script by clicking on recording. Okay, here we have design, runtime, and results. So design is the place for scripting, and runtime is the place for execution, and results is the place for doing execution. Okay, so under user paths and population, we have multiple things. We are going to check each and everything in detail. So we are going to check with NeoLoad recording, checking user path, and when we talk about the parameterization, so we have multiple types: counter, list, file, date and time, okay, random, integer, string, and many multiple things. And when we talk about the correlation, as I said, no, so we will be checking OTP. Okay, so you can either able to do that either manual way or automated way. So we are going to check both, how it is going to be in manual correlation, how we can able to do the automated correlation. And when we talk about the text verification, here comes as validation. Okay, here you can able to check so-called login button is there in that particular login page or not. Okay, so-called OTP that is getting generated successfully or not in a proper way, you can able to check that. That comes under validation. And NeoLoad runtime, this is the place where you can able to play around execution. Okay, so you can get the scenario creation and scenario execution. You can schedule a test and you can check the results. So you can check the test summary, values, graphs, errors, and you can also create alerts, logs, details, and result manager. Okay, so these are the things we are going to cover. Like at last we are going to check like how we can create SLA profiles, and including the web protocol, we are also going to play around API as well. So we are also going to, by end of these sessions, you can learn and you will be ready with your NeoLoad web scripting and also NeoLoad API scripting, and followed by interview questions and answers. Okay, so we are running out of time. So can you please come up with your questions, guys? Tomorrow we can discuss about questionnaire document and test plan in detail. Sorry, I took bit high time today.
I
Yes.
just wanted to understand what sort of error we are expecting when generally the load for performance test fails or something.
Sorry, come again.
What sort of errors or what type of error we are expecting when the performance test fails?
So it might be multiple things, right? See, whenever you are not doing the correlation in a proper way, whatever the script enhancements you are doing over there, if that is not doing in a proper way, then definitely you can expect it, right? So if the credentials are not proper, then you can expect 401, which is unauthorized. If there is any mismatch in the request, you can expect the bad request, which is 404. Okay, and in the same way, if there is any issue from the application, then you can expect 500 series. It completely depends. If you are playing around that particular
Yeah,
application,
it is the API errors, right? This is the API errors where which generally triggers and we get it.
yes,
But in
yes.
front end
Even
load testing,
Mm-mm.
In front-end load testing, what sort of errors generally we encounter?
Yeah, even
Or
like API is nothing but you can consider it as a small request in the web application itself, right? So, like even
oh,
if you want
uh,
to segregate that web, yeah,
huh.
go ahead, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'm not talking about API.
Okay.
I'm talking about the web load testing.
Yeah,
In web load
exactly.
testing, yeah.
Exactly. There also you might get the same sort of issues, right? It's not whatever the 400 or 404 or 500, that's not only limited to APIs, right? So you can expect the
Yeah.
same sort in scripting. Yeah, you can
Okay.
expect the
With
same
with
sort.
let's with let's suppose 1,000 users or like we are trying,
Mm-hmm.
and it is not loading actually, or some error, something causes the application fails actually. So how is it to handle that actually?
See,
How to understand how
if
to debug
you're
the particular error actually?
it completely we can able to rectify it whenever we are in that particular situation, because if it is 400, then I can say that is something related to authorization 401 unauthorized, that is related to like wrong credentials.
Yeah,
So
that
if
we
we are
got it
simply,
because of
yeah,
some credential or
that's
some mismatch
that's
is finding
that's
out.
what,
Then
Durga. If we
hmm,
are simply saying that, then definitely we can't say, right? Definitely we need some time in order to dig that issue. We need to check whatever what exactly it is giving, what code it is giving. So whether we are having the proper test data, if you are loading 1,000 users, whatever the test data we are having over there, whether we are using the same data or not, whether the user or test details that is completely able to access the application, whether they have the permission or not, we need to check each and everything in detail, right? So if you are
yeah,
saying
yeah,
like
yeah.
exactly which code you are saying, then we can able to say it. If you are simply saying why exactly my parameter file is not loading, then definitely there might be n number of reasons. Definitely we need to see the script, and then only we can able to sort that why it is not loading. And also
Okay.
sometimes like if any Excel sheet, CSV file, or any or your DAT file is opened also, whenever you are doing execution, then it might not call all the test users in a proper way. Definitely, you should close all the like unwanted files and all the CSV or DAT files, whatever you are using in your execution. So we can able to check exactly why it is causing only after proper evaluation. So that's the reason.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thanks.
Yeah. So tomorrow, like I'm also help you with NeoLoad PPT. Okay. So why we can
And
say
may I
Okay.
know the duration? May I know the
you can
duration this one
yeah, we can able to complete this in 20 days, Nag.
for 20 days. And
Yes.
so after completing the course and all, is it possible to give the support and all, like
Yes.
in case it
Uh,
is stuck anywhere,
yes, yes, I will be available. I will be available all the time. Like even if you are like stucking or freezing in your,
a
I mean,
scripting
real
issue?
time
Yeah.
scripting issues, yeah, for sure I will be available. And anyhow, you'll be getting like lifetime free access to your videos. Okay, so if you are not into this NeoLoad project for now, so anyhow you will be able to get this an hour later, right? So if needed, you can also check that later whenever you require. But
Yeah, that
even
is one.
after our
But
session,
my yeah, yeah.
yeah,
But my current
sure,
project
sure.
is going to come. It's NeoLoad
Ha
only,
ha
so
ha.
that is the reason
Okay,
I'm
okay.
asking.
Okay,
So
fine, fine,
the
fine.
real-time support, it is required. Will you support? Right?
Yeah, for
So
sure,
will
for
support.
sure, for sure. Yeah. If you are like freezing somehow, then you can just share a screenshot with me with the proper related error. Then I can help you in my free time. That's for sure.
Okay.
Sharat, Prahlad, Vignesh, Jayesh, Siva Prasad, Tayo. Any more questions, Durga?
Yeah, the question
Uh,
for me, I mean, maybe not now when we start, I mean, creating script. I just have some question. For example, how do you do like multi-factor scripting,
Multi-factor authentication. Is that what
authentication,
you are
and
asking? Yeah.
yes, ma'am.
That comes
And
when we deal about scripting.
yeah, another question is how do you pass the parameters, right? Like, do you do like load runner where if let's say certain data you want to enter, you want to do for multiple people, right? So maybe those are the questions we have when we get to scripting, okay?
Okay. Okay. So you
Correct.
can able to get that info when we enter into scripting part. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah. So there in
Thank
load
you.
runner, we'll be creating the parameter file, right? Here we have some sort of fx variables where we can able to create the files.
Right. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, Durga, you are saying something, I believe.
Sure. Yeah.
There actually I have some. I was just trying in our project,
Mm-hmm.
but still have no much knowledge actually. Some LGs are there, load generators are there, right?
Okay.
So yeah, can you get me like what are load generators and things? Huh?
Yes, yes. I mean, do you want to know exactly what is load generator or how come I didn't get that?
Yeah. Just load
Okay.
generator. It is you know
So load
3 months back I
generate.
just had a explode, but I didn't get a chance. Yeah.
Okay. So when we talk about the load generator is nothing but the machine which is gonna to generate the required amount of load. So it's nothing but a machine. Suppose if you want to go ahead with 100
Okay.
users, so here they are going to calculate like for how many users, like how based on the resource capacity, we will be like adding 1 or 2 LGs accordingly. It is nothing but a machine which is going to generate the required amount of load, that is LG. Okay.
Got it. Thank you so
uh,
much. Yeah.
okay.
We'll connect
Okay.
tomorrow. Yes. And then
Yeah, sure, for sure, not a problem. Yeah, fine. Sharat, Sivaprasad, Jayesh, Vignesh.
I'm good, Amulya.
Okay, fine. Okay, guys. Now, if no questions, I'll wind up the session. We'll connect tomorrow, and I'll go ahead and provide the detailed things related to performance testing types and also the questionnaire document. And in the next week, we can start the NeoLoad. Okay. So you
Yeah.
can expect this test. I mean, the entire sessions will be completed in next 20 days. Okay, within the 20 days, I'm pretty sure you are going to get the complete end-to-end idea about the NeoLoad, and you can able to start your NeoLoad project by your own. Okay, I can able to
Okay.
provide you that
Okay.
confidence by end of the sessions. Okay, cool, guys. Thanks. Bye. Have a nice
Thanks.
day. Good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you.